Hello, everybody. Welcome back. This is Michael Veris from JurisQ.com. We are a legal directory of attorneys who answer frequently asked questions on their type of law. And today we welcome back Stephen Zielinski from the law office of Herbert Lawrence, who is a renowned personal injury attorney with years of experience in New Jersey. Stephen, welcome back. Thank you for your time. I know you're very busy, so we appreciate you taking the time out of your schedule to talk to us. Stephen, we discussed many different accidents with you, types of accidents, types of injuries, how to get compensation. The one topic we haven't broached yet was minors. What happens if you have a minor in the car, a minor child, somebody who's not 18 yet, and they get injured? I know things are a little different there in the state of New Jersey. Can you please tell us what's involved?
Thank you, Michael, and good day to you. And thank you for watching. Injuries to a child, which is also known as a minor, that's a person under 18 years of age. At 18, you're supposed to become an adult, but under the age of 18, you're still a minor. And what happens is that the guardian or the parents of that minor are charged with the responsibility of the safety of that child and for the care and custody of the child. So when a child is injured in a car accident or on a pavement and they slip and fall, or through some other violent means, they suffer some kind of injury to their body, they usually cry a lot. Okay, so that's the first sign that there's pain. When there's pain and you see the reaction to that pain, you can pretty well assure that there's an injury. Sometimes the injury is nothing more than a scrape or a bruise, but sometimes it's much more severe. And when I say much more severe, I'm talking about injury to the spinal cord or to possibly even the brain of a child. What happens is, especially on a motor vehicle accident, when you have a severe impact and the contents of the car are thrown about, including the people in the car, and that is the driver and possibly other passengers, which may include a minor child, it's important to get to a doctor immediately to check out the injuries, especially to a minor, because the minor can't sometimes understand why they were injured and has to relate to that medical professional what the injuries are. And as a parent or a guardian, your role is actually to provide a history for the injury for the doctor so that they understand how the child became injured. Okay. Right? Now, the injuries, again, range as not so severe to very severe injuries. And when I say not so severe, you're talking about a bruise that'll heal in a couple of weeks, maybe a couple of scratches or not so severe cut or something of that nature. But the injuries can also be fractured bones. They could be herniated cervical discs that don't show up right away. They could be injuries to the child's brain. Okay. Now, the brain is in the child's skull. And when someone gets injured, especially a child, and their head hits something, that brain sustains very severe trauma called a concussion sometimes. You've all probably heard of football players having concussions. Well, for children, it's particularly dangerous because their brains are still developing and they're still in the formative stages for the most part. So those injuries may not be readily apparent at the first sign of injury to other parts of the body.
Right.
That's why a child's injuries have to be taken very seriously, and the child has to be monitored and cared for over a much longer period of time than an adult would, because those injuries may not appear as affecting the child until that child has developed from an infant or from a child or from an adolescent into adulthood. And over that period of years it's going to take, those injuries can adversely affect the development of the child. So, and those injuries can cost a lot of money to diagnose and to treat. So it's important to know all of your insurance rights. If you have your own medical health insurance to cover the child. If the automobile insurance of the other driver has significant liability, that's also important. And your own automobile policy, if that is your car that you're riding in, should cover most of the injury expenses, at least at the early stage, depending on the kind of policy that you might have when you took the car out or when you insured it. So it's important to notify all of the insurance carriers. Now, a lot of people don't know how to do this or who to call or what to do. They don't even read their insurance policy a lot of times, and they're very complicated policies in New Jersey. It's very complicated, very technical. So it's crucially important to get good legal advice right away. You got to call a personal injury attorney when your child is hurt. They know, we know exactly what to do, when to do it, and how to do it. And we will instruct the child's parents or guardians what they must do to protect that child's health. So that's crucial. And then we will see how the injuries are treated. If there's improvement, that's fine. That's what we're shooting for. If there are complications and developments that the child has shown some kinds of signs that the injuries are more severe than they had been, that's very important to get to specialists, neurologists who will test the brain function, orthopedics who will fix broken bones, put them in casts, take care of them, okay? Those are the kind of specialists that should treat the child, and it could happen over a long, long period of time. There's a particular other aspect of a child's injuries. In this state, New Jersey, we have what's called a statute of limitations for negligence actions, which is 2 years from the date the accident happened. If, in most cases, if you don't file a suit in court, a complaint in court starting a lawsuit within that 2 years, you may be barred from ever again pursuing that claim. But in a child's case, the law provides that the child has no statute of limitations until that child reaches the age of adulthood. So that means that when the child becomes 18 years of age, the statute of limitations starts running, even if the accident happened 15 years before.
Interesting.
So that's to protect the interests of a minor. And that's a good thing, but you can't wait long, because during that period of time, a lot of things have to happen. The treatment and everything have to be correct. The payment of the bills is important, and the progress must be monitored. That's what we as lawyers do. We, along with the guardians and the parents of the children, make sure that the child is taken care of. And then we try to resolve the case through a settlement process. And we do that once we get all the facts and details about the accident and the injuries. We go to the insurance company of the responsible party, and we try to settle the case for the child. And most of the time, we are very lucky and successful in doing that. Not lucky. We know how to do it and what we have to do to settle it. That's the key thing. That's what personal injury lawyers do. One more thing I want to mention, Michael.
Of course.
The law provides a limitation on the amount of attorney's fees that an attorney can get when representing a child. Ordinarily, a case is taken for an adult on the basis of about a third, 33 1/3% of the net recovery. So that's a third of whatever the net recovery is for an adult. That's after the payment of the medical bills and other court expenses. That's what the attorney's fee is generally on an adult case. But in a child's case, in a minor's case, the court says, no way, not a third. You're limited to a maximum of 25% of the net recovery for a child. So that's good, because the child gets more of a settlement percentage-wise than an adult would ordinarily. And the last thing I want to mention is, once the child's case is settled, it doesn't just get settled with the parents or the guardian. What happens is we have to go to court to to have the court approve the settlement. And the guardian or the parent has to appear before a judge, and they call this a friendly hearing for settlement purposes. So what happens is the judge will ask the child how he's doing, maybe years after the accident, how the treatment has gone, and the judge will know all the treatment efforts and how all the bills have been paid. And then the judge will also ask the parent or the guardian to confirm that the child has reached maximum benefits in the health and treatment. And only then will the court approve the settlement. So there's a lot of protections that are built into our system of law for a child or a minor in those kind of cases. I hope that helps.
Yeah, absolutely. Stephen, this was a very detailed explanation of what happens if a minor gets injured in a car accident in New Jersey. Really appreciate it. It seems like you really have to go to an attorney to get compensation for a car accident where minors involved. It's not an easy process, but something that an experienced attorney can handle. And this is why we tap into your knowledge base. Stephen, we have you and Herbert Lawrence come to our podcast to talk about frequently asked questions on personal injury in the state of New Jersey. We appreciate it. And if anybody has any questions about their case, about what happened to them in the car accident, and they want to see whether they qualify for compensation, please do not hesitate to call the phone number on the bottom of the screen. The consultation is free. Thank you. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Thank you, Stephen. And Stephen, we're not done with you yet. We're going to bring you back for next session. And we're going to talk about a very unfortunate circumstance where people pay the ultimate price in the car accident, a wrongful death lawsuit claim in a car accident. That's coming up next. Thank you. We'll see you soon.
Thank you.